This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is Community Information's Brian Vandal and Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain and I'm joined today by co-host Brian Vandal. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors: the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are you doing today? Sorry, Kevin.
I'm doing great, Brian. It's Earth Day today, as we said just a minute ago here, and the county's doing some cool things to celebrate Earth Day.
They are doing some cool things, and the Ocean Center does cool things almost every day. We have Tim Riddle with us. He'll join us in a little bit to talk about all that's happening over there at the Ocean Center.
But first, we have Kelvin Miller. Kelvin joins us in the studio. He's the general manager of the county's public transportation system, Votran. And Kelvin, today it's Earth Day. What's Votran doing for Earth Day today?
Well, first of all, we want to say Happy Earth Day and hope everybody's doing everything to make the planet a lot better off. On the Votran side, we are actually having free rides today on our fixed route and flex services. So we want people to get out and try and ride the bus and try and save some of that green gas emissions that come from vehicles. Take 2 or 3 cars off the road and put those folks on the bus, and we'll be able to save the planet.
That's wonderful. And so, just speaking of being economically friendly, the buses we have, they're very much friendly and green buses.
That's correct. We actually, in our fleet, we have some hybrid electric buses. We have about 9 to 10 of our vehicles are hybrid electric. And the hybrid electric basically runs off of battery and diesel, but it does less carbon emissions coming out of the vehicle than a regular diesel bus.
Wow.
And, you're driving around town, you see the big Votran buses, but you also have the Flex, and you also have the Gold Transit program. What are the differences, and how can I get on any of those?
Well, first of all, let's deal with the Gold services.
Mm-hmm.
is a specialized service for folks who may not be able to use the fixed route service. They have to actually qualify. They fill out an application to get on that service. That service is about $3, and while our regular service is about $1.75. It's more of a door-to-door type of service, so that vehicle will come to your house, pick you up.
Wow.
It will actually come to the door, take you to the vehicle, and then take you to your destination and escort you to the door of your destination. The Flex service is a mix between our fixed route and our Gold service. It does go off route. It's mostly in New Smyrna Beach.
Mm-hmm.
It does pick up folks at their location. Now, we don't do door-to-door on Flex. We do curb-to-curb on Flex, but it costs just like it does to get on a fixed route bus. There are designated stops on our Flex service. A lot of it's at Walmart and some on Beachside, but it's a mixture of the two between the fixed route and the Gold service.
Okay.
So how do I find out where the bus routes are, particularly where I could get picked up in, say, my neighborhood?
Well, for those folks who have access to a smartphone or the web, we have a MyStop app that you can download on your phone. It'll actually help you plan your trip. On the web, which is Votran.org, you can go on the web, you can plan your trip there, you can look at the bus routes there, you can get all kinds of information on Votran.org, or you can call our customer service. That number is 386-761-7700, and our customer service agents will be glad to help you plan your trip and get around Volusia County.
And
Excellent.
we're talking about Earth Day and being green, and a lot of times people might forget that money was green. I mean, a lot of us use our debit cards for the most part. How can Votran help us save some of that green in our wallets?
Well, if you look at when you're going around town, you see all these cars on the road. If some of those cars would actually get off the road and get on the bus, we'd actually be able to save some emissions. Really, if you look at the cost of going in gas the way it is now, it's about $4.09 a gallon. If you drive about 20 miles a day on your car, if you take a bus, it's $1.75 for a trip, so it's about $3.50 for a round trip. You actually could save about $1,300 a year just from going from a car to riding the bus.
Boy, when you translate it into money like that, it makes a big difference. And it really ties perfectly with the slogan of Votran. You drive a great bargain.
We drive a great bargain, that's correct.
And you guys are always looking for, you're hiring right now. So talk about some of the jobs that are available at Votran.
Well, yes, just like everybody else, regionally, nationally, everyone's looking for employees, whether it's transportation, food service, whatever it is, people are looking for employees. And yes, we are hiring bus operators. We also are hiring service island folks to wash and clean the buses at night. Most folks would say that, I can't drive that big bus. I don't have a driver's license.
Yeah, do you need
I
a
don't have
CDL?
a CDL.
Yeah.
Well, all we need for you to do is to have a driver's license. We put you through a course to get your CDL. We do a background check. We do a drug and alcohol test. And once you get through that, it's about a 9-week process. We'll teach you how to drive a bus. I'll tell a little story that when I was in college, I started off, I was working, I needed some money. First thing I saw was, well, let's drive a bus. And I said, well, I don't know that I've never driven anything that big before.
I'm not bus ready.
They said, we'll take you out there and we'll teach you how to drive. And sure enough, they taught me, I got my CDL, and I learned how to drive a bus, and that's how I started my career. So some of those folks out there today, if they're looking for starting a career, start off as a bus driver, work your way up. We'd be glad to help you go through that process.
That's
we do have a
wonderful.
lot of colleges in the area, so I mean, just some of those students that were in your shoes, just looking for that job to pay the bills.
That's correct. And we do offer full-time and part-time work. If you have your schedule doesn't allow to work full-time, you can do part-time work. We operate Sunday through Saturday, basically 365 days a year. So we can help you out. All we need for you to do is come in and apply for the job.
So speaking of benefits, what kind of benefits does a person get at Votran? Is it like a county government?
It's not a county. All our employees are subcontractors of the company. We offer health insurance. We offer dental insurance. We offer life insurance. We also offer a 401k where the company will put in 5% into your account. You don't have to match it, but it is 5%.
Good.
We do offer, right now we have a hiring bonus for those folks who want to come on. It's a $1,000 hiring bonus. And once you get in and you're in for a while, we have a retention bonus is about $1,000. And if you are a current employee and you want to refer somebody, we'll give you $500 for referring someone who stays on with us. So we all have all kind of incentives to get folks out there to come and work for Votran.
So how do people apply?
They can apply. They can download the application. We're in the process. We're almost finished with our online application. It should be finished this week. They can go online and fill out the information. It'll come right to us, and we'll call you up for an interview.
And that's Volusia.org.
So
Or Votran.org.
Yes.
And so Earth Day, we're riding free. The CDC, the mask regulations. Do we need to wear our mask on the buses now?
Well, you don't have to wear
Okay.
your mask. It's not required anymore, depending on the appeal from the Department of Justice. But
As of today,
you do not have to wear your mask. We encourage folks to wear. If you feel more comfortable wearing your mask, to continue wearing your mask. We do offer some masks as you get on the bus as supplies last. But right now, everybody's taking a sigh of relief that they don't have to put those masks on when they get on the bus. And sometimes you'd be surprised. You might not recognize folks without those masks on.
you forget what their smile looks like.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, and speaking of masks, even since the pandemic, you still continue to provide masks as long as they're available. And then talk about, too, you still continue all the cleanliness, the enhanced cleanliness practices for all the buses since the pandemic.
That's correct. We bring our buses in. We don't do every bus. We clean every bus every night, but we actually do an enhanced cleaning on the bus. We have a machine that will actually pull all of the bad ingredients out of the bus, let's say. We do that on a regular basis to keep the bus clean. At our transfer plaza, we have folks coming around wiping down the benches, the trash cans, everything there that people may touch, just to make sure that folks are
We're keeping ahead of the
game. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, keeping ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
as you would say, Brian. So just speaking again about jobs and working at Votran, what's the culture like working at Votran?
Well, it's a good place to work. We have employees who've been there 30, 40 years. They've stayed there. They like it. It's a good place to work. Good atmosphere. You depending on where you are, if you're a bus operator, you get out there, you get to meet all kind of different people and interact with folks and just have a good time.
That's excellent. Well, as we segue into talking into Tim Riddle, I'm sure there's a Votran bus that drops you right off in front of the Ocean Center.
Right in front of the Ocean Center. We're going by beachside. Yes.
All right. So with that, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, transition over to Tim Riddle with the Ocean Center. Stay with us.
Get ready, it's time for another Volusia County Fire Rescue Fire Safety Tip. Another good tip for the kitchen is safety for the children. We want to create a 3-foot zone of safety around the stovetop so that children can't access and get burned.
I'm Brian Van along with Kevin Captain. You're listening to Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Thanks, Brian. So with us now is Tim Riddle. He's the director of the Ocean Center in downtown Daytona Beach. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, guys.
So what's going on first to start off for events this weekend?
Well, this weekend we've got the Florida Key Club in town, about 1,000 students. They actually started yesterday. Last night, their opening session. They're here through Saturday. A busy group. We're actually feeding them 3 times a day. So that's a lot of work and good business for us as well with all the students. And they move out. They start transitioning out Saturday in a part of our building. We actually have an overnight turn in the exhibit hall. Saturday morning, Florida Water Resource Conference starts moving in. They've got 3,000 people here through Tuesday. And also on the tail end of Key Club on the east side of our building, they move out of our ballroom Saturday night. They've got a governor's ball, and then we do an overnight turn of that room to wrestling on Sunday. So it's a couple of overnight turns in the next 3 days, and a lot of activity, and which is good for the area, good for surrounding restaurants, hotels, retail. So we've got a lot going on.
You know, speaking of events, so you're here. Anybody listening to the radio, they know now what's going on this weekend. But how can anybody find out what's going on at the Ocean Center? Because it sounds like you've got a lot of events continuously happening.
We do. There's several ways. One, one of the quickest, just go to oceancenter.com. Click on the calendar of events. They'll all, pull up. Many of those, if the client is willing for us to share their information, are clickable links, so you can find out more about those events. We also do a monthly mailing of next month's calendar. At the end of every month, we send out the calendar for the next month. That's something that we've only started doing really in the last 6 months, but you can sign up for that or request it from our website as well. So it's another good way to get that information. And, all else fails, feel free to call us. We'll be happy to talk.
And the Globetrotters are headed back.
The Globetrotters will be rolling into town Wednesday afternoon for a Wednesday evening performance. And, they revamped their show 2 years ago. And we've heard from other venues. We try to check, and their attendance is up everywhere. And matter of fact, ticket sales for our event, especially being a Wednesday night, are very strong. We're already over 1,000, which is very strong for a weeknight event. And again, we're still just not quite a week out, so we're expecting a good time. And they put on a good show. It's a good entertainment event for the entire family.
And this is off the heels of the basketball tournament that you had in. Well, it was our own March Madness.
That's right. CBI College Basketball Invitational was here in March, and we've had more basketball in the last 12 months than we've had in any year in recent memory, and that's a good thing. Like I say, it helps because that basketball floor goes down and comes right back up. So our guys are getting very good at putting that jigsaw puzzle together.
I bet they are.
Quickly.
Setup.
So give them some props. They do a good job. It's a lot to take down and put up, and we're excited about putting it down and having the Globetrotters here Wednesday evening.
So, Tim, you just recently gave a presentation about the Ocean Center for the Volusia County Council, and I happened to hear it was a great presentation. You went in depth. You went from the original build of the building to its operating budget to all of the expenditures. Can you give us the highlights? I know that was probably an hour and 20 minutes, but
yeah,
sum it down into 1 minute.
Yeah, well, it's first of all, we are such a bargain. In essence, I tell people in a broad brush, there's about $14 million of resort tax that was slated for Ocean Center last year, and it really is kind of almost a half and half split between operations on one side and the other half being debt service on the building, current capital projects, and then some reserves for future capital. That's in essence how you split it. I can tell you that I mentioned I referenced a study, and we're looking at getting another one done. But back in 2015, there was about a $5 million resort tax, slotted for operations, and back then they estimated $18 in return for every $1 spent, or about $92 million in economic impact. And as I said to council, that's only going to be bigger because we're much busier in terms of numbers. So, and we're looking at getting that professional to come in and recalculate all that for us to see kind of how we stack up in today's dollars. But we feel very confident that it's still going to be a great return on investment. And again, I should mention, those are not local tax dollars. The tax dollars Ocean Center runs with are from out-of-towners' lodging tax, so it's not a drain on the local tax base at all. So it's just a win-win for the
Sure,
for the
those
local
are all
economy.
visitors coming in from out of town, and when you say some of these events bring thousands and thousands of people, I did hear a passionate public participant in the meeting, and he had mentioned, he said, a lot of people think that the Hilton is the main hotel for the Ocean Center. But that's really not the truth. It has an impact everywhere.
When you look at it, we can't change the laws of physical dynamics.
You are where you are.
The Hilton is a 744-room hotel right across the street. So yes, I will say, but we don't make any recommendations as far as hotels go. That's handled by the meeting planners themselves. Although logistically, is it the headquarters hotel for a lot of our business? It is, because it's across the street. But I mentioned the 3,000 room nights with Florida Water Resources. The Cheer event, which was here 3 weekends ago now, great example. Over 8,500 room nights in 29 hotels across the
Amazing.
area. So yes, the Hilton may be headquarters because logistically they are the closest major property. But most of the conventions we bring to town have enough room nights that they can't be satisfied by one.
Sure.
And again, I point to the recent Cheer. 29, they use 29 properties.
29 hotels, and then, you speak of that, and then you speak of the economic impact. That's amazing.
It is. So that's what we're all about. As I mentioned at council, we're very much, raise the tide, raise all the boats, and we bring people to town. They usually eat 3 meals a day. They do some shopping. They look at entertainment as well. So we're there. And Ocean Center's not there to make money. That's why we're supported by lodging tax, because yes, you use some of your resort tax to run Ocean Center at no cost to locals, but then look at that, what you bring in, which helps the locals. All that money that flows into our community by these people visiting town, and that's the name of our game.
And you guys really are ambassadors of the county, the location, and maybe sometimes you get some of those out-of-town taxes become local taxes because they like the area. What you've provided just gave them a glimpse of maybe they want to stay here. Maybe they want to bring their business back here permanently. You probably work with Team Volusia, the economic development, just that cohesion of getting businesses maybe to come back.
We often say Ocean Center, as nice a building as we think we have, and when we try to take great care of it, we're not an island. We cannot do what we do without partners. We have all the hotel partners, the destination itself. If we didn't have a good destination, we couldn't be attractive. So again, it's all about everything we do in partnerships and in conjunction with others, because we can't do it alone. I can't host a convention without a hotel partner.
Sure.
Both of us can't do business without a good destination with lots to do for people in their downtime, because we'd like to keep them in Ocean Center 24/7, but we don't. They're there for part of the day, and then they go out and enjoy the community, and that's a good thing, and it's gives them exposure to our area, which maybe some repeat vacation, maybe some repeat business, maybe some investment in business. It all can work together with some synergy.
And if you don't get them out of the arena, there's no way for you guys to get that floor back down.
We got to get that floor up and down somehow. So.
Well, hey, if you sold stock and it was a $18 return on every dollar, I would certainly invest. But speaking of investing and expenditures, in your presentation you also mentioned the operational costs, and they looked high, but when we're talking about the revenue generated by your operations, it makes a huge difference. And even through the pandemic, you still continued with major capital improvements to the building.
We did, and we also can't change the fact that we're 400 feet from the ocean.
That's a 6-iron, right, Kevin?
For me, it's probably a driver.
Brian's golfing, right?
But it's we operate in a fairly harsh environment, really, just exposure. I mean, people see these huge monolithic structures like our building that's 2 blocks big, the garage next door, concrete. But they're not impervious.
They're not.
They chloride intrusion is something everybody who lives near a beach in Florida has learned a lot about in the last 2 years. So it's one of those things that those buildings require a lot of maintenance, and you see it in our budget. But at the same time, that's what keeps that building, like we like to think, in first-class condition.
Sure.
Keeps us even with our competition in terms of what we can offer. First-class facilities, first-class amenities within those facilities, and that's what keeps these people coming. That's why we'll have over 350,000, in 2022.
The other thing that I took note of is when you spoke about how many employees you have that work for the Ocean Center, and it looked like a small group, but then you mentioned Spectra. Tell us about Spectra and how that coincides and complements the Ocean Center.
Well, I mentioned, we all need to be cognizant of the fact that, yes, we have county employees there, but we've got a food and beverage team that's under contract. But, they employ right now 11 full-timers. And also mentioned, I think it's important that both of us together, we may have 50 to 55 full-time people there working side by side, hand in hand. But both of us also together employ 50 to 80 part-timers each and every week when we're doing these events like we're talking about now. And that's, again, it's just another layer of economic return to the community, because every one of the people that get a paycheck at Ocean Center, I guarantee you, they're buying groceries somewhere, they're eating out, they're spending money on entertainment as well. So it's not just the people we bring to town, but a lot of the money that does support the operation goes right back out in the community as well in terms of employee dollars being spent.
That's excellent. We're talking with Tim Riddle. He is the director of the Ocean Center. We'll take a quick break and come back with Volusia Today. Stay with us.
Do you enjoy helping animals in need? Then why not join our caring and professional team right here at Volusia County Animal Services? We have immediate openings for several high-energy candidates interested in becoming a part of our animal care clinic family. As a vet assistant, you'll be doing everything from prepping patients for surgery, as well as assisting in surgery, even recovering those patients. Also prepping log records and helping with our field services and our casework. Vet assistants also help out during our special events, which are extremely popular to the public. Things like pet microchipping and vaccine events, as well as food drives. All of those things are incredibly rewarding, and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping pets right here in your community. To get more information, please visit volusia.org or call 386-248-1790. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, why don't we go to the Marine Science Center?
Yeah!
Are you looking for a new adventure? Come on down to the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Watch as our staff cares for sick and injured sea turtles. You can also explore our marine exhibits, touch some stingrays, visit our gift shop, and stroll through the Seabird Sanctuary. Afterward, you can visit the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse. The Marine Science Center is open every day but Monday.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Vandal along with Kevin Captain. You're listening to Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Thanks, Brian. We're talking with Tim Riddle with the Ocean Center and Kelvin Miller with Votran. So, Tim, just, we're talking about the Ocean Center. Not everyone also knows that parking garage next to the Ocean Center. The county owns that building, too.
Yes, the county does own that garage, and it is managed under the umbrella of Ocean Center as well.
So speaking of parking and maybe the hassle that comes along with that, let's bring back Kelvin to talk about Votran. How does Votran complement the Ocean Center?
Well, right across the street from the Ocean Center, we have our intermodal transit facility, and people can catch the bus, go down to the ITF, walk across the street, and go to the Ocean Center. We also, Tim talked about some of the tourists that come into town. We have a route that goes, we have seen a lot of folks that catch our bus that goes down to Ponce Inlet. They go to the Marine Science Center and the Lighthouse. So
Sure.
Some of those tourists are getting on our buses going down to those attractions. Tim also talked about economic impact of the Ocean Center. And one thing that folks don't think about when they talk about public transit is what economic impact that transit has on the community. And for every dollar that's invested in transit, it's a return about $4 for the county and for the state of Florida altogether. So transit does have an economic impact as well. And those folks who we transport, they're going to work, they're going shopping, and so they're spending their money also.
You know, the other thing we didn't talk about too, we're talking about buses, is you can still take your bike with you and put it on the bus and have the bus take you to a location and take your bike off the bus.
That's correct. You can ride your bike to a bus stop. We have right in front of all our fixed route buses, we have bike racks. Unfortunately, we can only put two bikes on the bus at the time. So sometimes we have folks. Someone was telling a story yesterday that one guy saw two guys standing at a bus stop. He went down to the bus stop that got first and got his bike on first, and so one of the other ones said they couldn't get their bike on the bus. So yes, you can ride your bike. You can put it on the bus, go where you go, get off, and take your bike where you need to go.
Well, they say in Jaws you need a bigger bus.
That's right. Bigger rack, maybe? Who knows? May is graduation season, and you're going to put the floor up and down, but you're going to have thousands and thousands of graduating seniors going through the Ocean Center.
Yes, I counted last night, again, just to be sure. 12 graduations in the course of it. And this year it's a little different. The calendar's a little different. They're actually having graduations Tuesday through Saturday, with Volusia County schools Tuesday through Friday, and the two Flagler County schools on the Saturday. So it will be, but still, it is.
How many do you do in a day?
The maximum is 4, which we will do on Friday. So do not call me on that Friday.
Okay, you'll be busy.
That's right, I will be.
I hope
my designated job is to push a button to open a roll-up door, but it is an all-hands-on-deck kind of function where I come down and the office is empty. All the salespeople are out there in addition to our staff, because it's a constant corralling process.
Oh, I bet.
You know, getting people in the lots, out of the lots, getting people in the arena, out of the arena, because, hey, 90 minutes later, it's a whole new crew coming in.
So real quick, in the last couple of seconds, Tim, what do you do on the weekends? Because you probably work a lot of them, and so when you finally get one off, what do you do?
I will try to either go camping or, I like going to the beach. It's the great thing about a beach town. Book, beach, and beverage works for me.
There you go.
And how about you, Kelvin?
I have a cousin down, and he's been getting me out on the golf course, so we've been playing a lot more golf than I normally would. Other than that, it's just out and about, visiting all the sites within Volusia County.
Good for you. Well, I think you might have a golf partner here, Brian.
I'm not that good.
Neither am I.
Well, it's certainly been a pleasure talking with you both, Tim with the Ocean Center and Kelvin with Votran Public Transportation. This is Volusia Today. It's every Friday at 9 a.m. With that, we'll close today's show. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.